We begin this part where the previous one left off, with the gang still in the area they were dropped off at, and enjoying each other's company and happy to have saved Unova once again, or for the first time in Alexa's case. After relaxing, the group decides to head to the Pokemon Center to let their Pokemon heal over what they all went through. After arriving and giving their Pokemon the Nurse Joy, Alexa decides to do a report on Ash's friends, and while they do that, Nurse Joy tells Ash that someone wanted to talk to him over the phone. Confused but curious, Ash goes over and picks it up, where he finds it to be Caitlin, and who he happily catches up with, but during which she asks if he remembers that competition she mentioned, and he does, to which she happily replies that she now knows the name and location of it. It's called the Pokemon World Tournament. It's going to be held in Driftville, and she says she can't wait to see him there as the call ends. Excited, Ash tells his friends, who after finishing their interviews with Alexa, decide to enter as well. Well, once their Pokemon are given back, they make their way back to Driftvale. After a nice walk or train ride and ask for directions, the gang have officially arrived at their destination. They see how big the outside is and are amazed by it. And once they head inside, they are impressed again by the interior. Once they're done, they head to the registration. By the way, I should clarify that even though Mellow is visible right now, this is only so I don't forget about her later. So, yeah, she's invisible to everyone else, but of course the main quartet knows she's there. Anyway, Ash, Hilda, and Sun register themselves and their Pokemon. But as they get completed, Alexa notices extra slots of the Pokemon and asks what they're about. The registration explains that it's for trainers who have other Pokemon they want to use, saying that as long as they follow the rules of their battle, they can use any Pokemon they own. This surprises the others, but they admit they have no other Pokemon, except Ash, who intervenes and says that he actually does, that he'd like to register them. Hearing this, the registry unlocks the extra slots, and Ash enters all of his other Pokemon from Oak's lab. Once that's complete, the registrant says he's free to use the transfer machine for wherever he wishes to use, and wishes Ash and his friends the best of luck. Ash and Pikachu are excited while the others are curious. Aside from meeting some people he knows, Ash generally talked about his previous adventures, and so they were unaware of what other Pokemon he had. Once he caught Unova, Pikachu, and Charizard. But they are, however, excited to see them in action, especially Alexa, who's ready to record the whole thing. The gang then head to their places in the arena for the competition, with Alexa in the stands, while Ash's friends head to the trainers area, where, much to Ash's surprise, lots of familiar faces from both in and out of Unova are, with all of them ready to battle and win this thing, making his excitement all the more higher. As everyone prepares themselves, Alder and Freddy show up, with Alder saying this journal was created to allow you to see the strength of other regions and show what it's made of itself, and says that he and Fred will be the hosts, and even gives a presentation of the Elite Four, with a cute little moment of Caitlin and Ash waving at each other. Anyway, the four of them, along with hosts, wish everybody luck as the matchups are revealed. Before we get into the tournament, I should clarify that we have a lot of battles to cover, and not wanting to drag this out with a ton of explanations, possibly boring you all on the repeating what I did for the last tournaments. These battles will be in summary form, kind of like Zonalit's Ash and Liko series, if you saw that. I did. Anyway, the top 256 is first, and Silence battle is the first one we see, with him battling a girl named Ellie from home with her Delcat. He uses Pansage, and honestly, this battle is pretty one-sided. Despite Ellie's efforts, Silent is a gym leader. So after his evaluation time, he ends the battle with Solar Beam, advancing to the next round. Next is Hilda, and she battles a guy named Jack from Sinnoh in her troll battle. She uses Mean Shell, Zorro, and Auto versus his Quagsire, Lenny, and Maractus. Unlike Silent, Hilda struggles more, but uses her battle knowledge from Ash and Silent to get the upper hand and victoriously move on to the next round. Finally, it's Ash's turn. He's in a double battle against a girl named Penelope. Well, he uses Pikachu and Arceus versus her Giraffe Rig and Rose Raid. And like Silent, Ash manages to win without much trouble. Though we are not done yet, we're covering one more match, and that will be between two trainers, known by Tobias and Alex. And it's a 1v1 between Tyranitar and Tropius. Despite the time matchup being even Tyranitar is shown to be resilient, taking all of Tropius' attacks and landing powerful hits into winning the battle with less of an issue than Ash's Island did. The trio is reminded of Montgomery from the club explosion, but Ash smiles, hoping he gets to face and beat him in battle. The top 128 is next, and Hilda is first, as against Jane, with her superior against Jane's Machamp, whose psychic attacks make things a bit tricky, but using superior speed, Hilda advances to the next round thanks to Leaf Storm. Ash is up next, and he has a triple battle against a man named Harold, with his Aggron, Galvantula, and Zatu versus Ash's Muck, Darmanitan, and Shiny Mantine. The battle goes pretty even, as both are pretty good trainers. First is Aggron, who goes against Darmanitan. However, the next is, of course, Darmanitan from Galvantula. But Mantine and Galvantula then go down in the double knockout, and despite the size advantage, Zatu falls to Muck, advancing Ash to the next round. Then it's Silent's turn, who reunites with Henry in a double battle with Gliscor Uniquely versus Crustle and Lilligant. After a tough kind of sewer battle, Uniquely goes down first, and after a bit later, we get a dual knockout between Gliscor and Crustle. And with Lilligant still on the field, Silent advances to the next round. We are now on to the top 64, and Ash is first, and he's battling Janine, who learns she's Koga's daughter, having taken over the mother. Koga was promoted to the Elite Four. This makes Ash excited. He hopes to see Koga again someday, but for now, he's battling her in a 1v1 bug type battle between Venomoth and Heracross. The battle is even more intense than Ash's last two, with Janine being pretty strong, even poisoning Heracross. But he and Ash won't give up. After multiple hard blows, Venomoth is defeated, and so the two shake hands as Ash heads on to the next round. Hilda's up next, and she battles a girl named Yancy in a duel battle with Zoro when Ardenno versus Spinda and Mawile. Hilda struggles, of course, due to Mawile's steel type, but she manages to show them her skills. In the end, the battle ends in Hilda's victory, as she still has Zorua left by the end. And now we're on to Silent, and he has a triple battle against Erica, making it a grass-type gym leader showdown. It's an intense battle between Tangrowth and Venusaur. Sorry, I was a train of thought. And then there's Crustle, Pansage, and Lilligant on Silent's side. The order of knockout is Tangrowth, followed by Lilligant, Crustle, and under some careful planning, Plume and Venusaur are both knocked down thanks to Pansage, winning Silent the battle. On to the top 32, where Ash, Hilda, and Silent battle are all double battles. First is Ash, who goes up against Marlin. And Ash is ready to finally see what this gym leader is made of. Both show their skills with Army, Mantine, Flygon, and Leavanny. And it's an intense battle, but the first to go down is Starmie. And this is followed by Mantine and Leavanny. And with Flygon still up, Ash goes on to the next round. Silent is up next, and he faces another gym leader in Morty, who uses Gengar and Bandit versus his Crustle and Lilligant. The battle is intense, and Silent struggles against Morty's Ghost type moves, and even though Lilligant is knocked out, Crustle comes through in the end to get Silent the win. Finally, it's Hilda's turn, and she's battling Curtis, who reveals that she fought his girlfriend last time, and that he'll win this for her and him, and he uses Sableye and Rampardos, while Hilda uses her Audino and Superior. Things are pretty even thanks to their experience, but Audino and Sableye, due to their types, of an awkward battle that ends in a draw. Superior, on the other hand, outclasses Rampardos by Curtis's experience, but in the end, Superior knocks him out and advances Hilda to the top 16. We then go on to that round next, and they're all triple battles, with Ash's being against Maylene, who he has a nice reunion with. The battle is between Hitmontop, Breloom, and Lucario versus Ash's Weasel, Prime, and his own Lucario. The battle is pretty hard and intense, as both of them show improvements from last time, with Maylene even getting a taste of Ash's Lucario. And the battle is intense, but in the end, Ash's fighting types and Weasel in a powerful triple combo attack, knocking out all of Maylene's Pokemon, advancing him to the next round, and letting Weasel redeem himself for the tie back in their gym battle. Sorry. Anyway, Hilda is next, and Mustard is shocked and nervous as she battles Lisa. But she assures her it'll be okay, and no matter who comes out on top, no hard feelings. The battle is, of course, not easy, as Lisa is a gym leader, and eventually comes down to their aces, Mean Shao and Zebstrika, with the latter keeping the former at bay. But Hilda won't give up, so taking a page of Ash's book, she comes up with a strategy, and with some luck, she comes out on top. Hilda is beyond happy and excited, with Lisa being very impressed, so the gym leader tells her that she wants to make her Pokemon models so she can work under her, as in she can let her Pokemon take pictures with her. Hilda is amazed and happily accepts, taking her out as the battle comes to an end. Next up, we have Silent, who takes on Skyla. Anyway, Silent uses the same Pokemon he used in his gym battle, while Isla uses Swanna, but this time followed by Skarmory and Jumpluff. Their battle is much better than their last one. Instead of battling to prove the other wrong and themselves right, this one is just for fun. Although Silent does still struggle thanks to their flying typing, but he's learned from their last battle and uses Pokemon skills to knock out Jumpluff. Skarmory's era event then keeps tapping at bay despite its type disadvantage, and in the end, those two fall down in the draw. Uh, Silent's last two grass has taken a bit of a toll against Isla Swan, and eventually, though Pansage dodges its brave bird, Lilligant is knocked out. But Silent will not give up. Pansage will definitely get back for last time, and so he defeats Swanna, advancing Silent to the next round. The quarterfinals are now up, and these are the matchups: Tobias versus Flannery, Silent versus Claire, Ash versus Roxy, and Dino versus Hilda. All these battles will be randomly separated in formats. First up, we of course got Tobias versus Flannery, Dragonite versus Tyranitar, and Tyranitar versus Magmortar and Oracle. The battle is intense, and since both show pretty strong skills, Tyranitar and Mortar even go down in the draw, leaving it to Dragonite versus Torkoal. While Torkoal also loses own thanks to his defenses, Dragonite still manages to get the win. Now we're on to Silent versus Claire in a triple battle. Both gym leaders fight hard, but the first to go down is unfortunately Tepig, and a bit later, Altaria. The remaining four Pokemon on each side fight hard and do their very best. Unfortunately, Gyarados, Pansage, and Lilligant are all knocked out, and with Angel still on the field, Claire has declared the winner. Ash vs. Roxy is next, and their battle is also a triple battle. And it's between Roxy's Cynthia Pokemon from her gym battle with Hugh versus Ash's Espeon, Swellow, and Torterra. The battle is intense, but tougher on Ash's side due to Roxy's poison type moves, but Espeon and Torterra's type advantage as well as resilience help keep them in this fight. And eventually, Swellow has a new move shown called Facade, which combines with Facade. But this is countered by Gyro Ball and Mega Horn on Roxy's side, causing a quadruple knockout, leaving the battle between Gardevoir and Torterra. And it's even due to them being powerful tanks. Torterra manages to block a gunk shot with a Rock Tomb and confuses Gardevoir with Leaf Storm before knocking it out with an Earthquake, finishing the battle. Finally, it's Dino versus Hilda and Chandelure versus Arno. Despite the timing, the battle is very one-sided, with Dino holding things, showing that he didn't make it all the way to the finals for nothing. Hilda's battle still keeps during the battle, but in the end, she loses. With that, the semifinals are on next. Before that, however, we had a little moment where Ash comforts his friends of their losses, telling them that they did great out there, which is supported by both Alexa and Meloetta. Silent and Hilda thank their friends and take their loss as well, saying that despite being eliminated, they both had a lot of fun, alongside Alexa and Melo will root for Ash in the semifinals. Ash, a determined look, thanks them as the matchups are then revealed. Tobias versus Claire, and Dino versus Ash. Tobias versus Claire is first, and it's Metagross and Salaman versus Dragonair and a shiny Jardigan. Both show incredible strength on both of their Pokemon, showing that they ultimately deserve they got this far. Darn. But unfortunately, Tobias' Pokemon are still stronger, and so he emerges the winner. Ash vs. Dino is then next, and it's Manabuzz and Jardigan versus Ash's Gengar and Clefable. As soon as the battle starts, both Pokemon show great teamwork on both sides, representing their strength, though Gengar struggles with to the Manabuzz's Dark and Ground type moves. But Clefable helps Gengar tank them and block earning him no damage, which Ash finds odd. Which is then even Clefable learns a new move, which Alexa yells, revealing its Moonblast, hitting both Pokemon hard. And after one more Moonblast combined by Gengar's Shadow Ball, Ash comes out on top. And with that, the finals are here. Ash versus Tobias. And it's a rotation, confusing both of them as they never heard of that. But all they're ready to explain. You have three Pokemon now, but only one fight on both sides, and they rotate positions. Despite the new style, both trainers step onto the field and send out their Pokemon. It's Dragonite, Hydreigon, and Garchomp versus Charizard, Pikachu, and Crocodile. The battle is, as you would expect, action-packed and intense, showing how these two made it all the way here. However, despite Ash's skills, Tobias' Pokemon are still resilient, and let Ash fall into a trap with Pikachu, where he uses Thunderbolt. Garchomp switches not only Makes no damn, but knocks out Pikachu with the outraged Earth Power combo. Everyone is shocked. As Ash thanks his partner for his hard work. Crocodile and Charizard are praising his efforts. Pikachu is grateful as Crocodile on stage. She actually keeps also by his Pokemon at bay thanks to his diverse moveset. He and Garchomp face each other, remembering his loss to Cindy as Crocodile reads Garchomp's movements and knocks him out without much trouble. Hydreigon then battles next, and due to Crocodile's boost for Moxie and the damage from the previous battle, things are pretty even. Both have good strength. After a long, hard fight, it ultimately ends in a draw. So now it's down to Charizard versus Dragonite. Both look at each other intensely, ready to fight hard, especially Charizard, who remembers his loss against Drake's Dragonite all that time ago. So like Crocodile, he's looking for redemption. The two immediately take to the sky and land powerful attacks. Both sides know what's on the line and they don't want to let their trainers down. Everyone is on the edge of their seats for this intense battle. But after a Dragon Tail clash, the Poe are down to one last move. Dragonite tries in the battle with Dragon Rush, but Ash's Charizard grab it. And Cell combined with Dragon Rush with Seismic Toss, turning the force move against him and slams him into the ground. Dragonite is defeated, and so with that, Ash wins the battle and the tournament. After a cheering crowd out and a nice moment between Ash and Tobias, the closing ceremony arrives, with all are congratulating Ash and presenting him with the trophy as his victory. Ash thanks all and shares a smile with Pikachu. Just the tournament comes to a close. Back outside the stadium, Ash unites with the others, who all congratulate him on his victory. Hilda and Silent even show their entry prize, all their keychains. Ash thanks them, and even Meloetta sings a little song to celebrate Ash's victory, but it ends with Meloetta starting to look sad. The others are confused, but Ash and Pikachu understand, saying that Meloetta has to go, which she sadly confirms. But Ash says it's okay. She tries to help her friends and thanks her for the brief time they spent together, saying that he look forward to when they meet again. Hearing his kind words, Meloetta smiles, and after a heartwarming hug, she flies off, waving goodbye to Zipper to head off as well. And that's where we're going to end this part for now. So, what did you all think? Please tell me in your comments and let me know in the next video. Bye.